What is going on, everybody? Now, Samsung has just launched its latest iteration of its foldable smartphone, the Galaxy Z Flip 4, and it has come a long way since it was first introduced around 4 years ago. At first, it started out as a novelty, but now it seems that foldables are going mainstream with Samsung practically paving the way for it. But is it worth getting today? Hi, what's up guys? This is VJ of Yugatech, and this is our review of Samsung's Galaxy Z Flip 4. The Galaxy Z Flip 4's form factor has largely remained the same to its first iteration and shares pretty much the same body as the previous Galaxy Z Flip 3. But you know what they say? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Cause all around, it's still a great form factor, being light and easy to use with one hand, unlike the larger Galaxy Z Fold 4. It does have some little refinements though, with a slimmer hinge, straightened edges, contrasting haze back glass, and glossy metal frames. Being a foldable, you may also think that it's fragile, and I don't blame you, but Samsung claims that its new hinge can last an average of 200,000 flips, so you'll surely be covered for a while. And it's even IPX8 dust and water resistant, up to 1.5 meters underwater for up to 30 minutes. One other thing to note though is that it only has one nano SIM tray and no micro SD card slot, which is quite a bummer if you wish to expand storage or use a secondary line. The main inner screen sees a 6.7-inch Full HD Plus Dynamic AMOLED 2x Infinity Flex display, which is the same from its predecessor. It has a resolution of 2640 by 1080 pixels, an aspect ratio of 22:9, and an adaptive refresh rate of 120Hz. Now moving around the outer side, it features a little outer screen on the back when folded. It is a 1.9-inch Super AMOLED display with a 260 by 512 resolution and is protected by Gorilla Glass Victus Plus. Back to the foldable inner screen, it's actually made of a combination of ultra-thin glass and plastic, so that it's both flexible and durable enough when folding. Overall, it has an initial layer of glass, but its polycarbonate material feels more of like a plastic screen protector, which makes it more prone to scratches and creases. However, around the edges, there's a slight embossed border that helps protect it if ever you drop it, and also a small rubber stopper on each side to cushion the display when flipping close. Our best advice is to make sure to not overly abuse the foldable display, cause eventually you will see a crease that slowly becomes more prominent over time. And realistically, that's just the nature of tech nowadays, nothing lasts forever. But despite all that, we were really impressed with the quality of the display, especially that foldable displays were really unheard of just a few years back. Images are crisp with vivid colors, and the display is truly bright enough for use outdoors. And don't mention that it's very responsive with the 120Hz refresh rate. On paper, the Galaxy Z Flip 4 features the same camera setup as the Z Flip 3, but Samsung claims that its main cameras have improved low light performance, although our eyes can't really tell the difference unless looking at both up close and side by side. The main camera is a 12MP f1.8 wide angle, while its secondary shooter is a 12MP f2.2 ultra wide. In general, the main cameras were able to shoot good sharp photos with vibrant colors and nice contrast, nothing out of this world for sure. Its video quality is actually pretty good, with it being able to record up to 4K at 60 FPS. Here are some sample shots. The front or inner camera on the other hand is a 10MP f2.4 selfie camera, but what's truly quirky is that its foldable design allows you to go into flip camera mode. This lets you fold the device at a 90-degree angle and have the phone propped up without the need for a tripod or a stand. So you can imagine taking photos or videos with the main camera in instances such as live streaming or vlogging. Alternatively, you can use the front camera for a video call without a tripod, which is pretty practical in our book. But if you find yourself taking a bunch of selfies, you'd want to use the main cameras mostly, right? As they're generally better than the front ones in any smartphone. We'll just double tap the power button, cause another feature sees the Z Flip 4 able to be closed up completely and have the main camera as a selfie camera with the cover screen used as a display to get your best shots. The Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4 runs on One UI 4.1.1, which is based on Android 12. Its UI is pretty much familiar to other Samsung smartphones, but with some significant changes. The lab setting allows you for experimental features like multi-window for all apps, full screen and split screen view, swipe for pop-up view, swipe for split screen, and flex mode panel. The cover screen also features its own unique features, such as video wallpapers, picture avatars, shortcuts, and the ability to reply to messages or answer calls straight away. As for apps, it comes pre-installed with Samsung's native apps like Samsung Free for content like podcasts, Samsung Members for news and special offers, and Samsung Global Goals that actually lets you earn from ads and help donate them to global goals such as to help poverty, education, and hunger, and gender equality, which is a pretty neat initiative. Overall, Samsung's One UI is very clean and simple, and yet has a ton of customizations and features under the hood. It honestly feels like you'd never run out of things to tinker around with. When it comes to performance, the Galaxy Z Flip 4 is really no slouch either, as it's powered by the latest Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 chipset and paired with 8GB of RAM. Storage-wise, it comes in either 128, 256, or 512GB configurations. The new 512GB configuration is available as an online exclusive in Samsung.com and is a welcome addition since previously you could only get a max of 256GB from the Z Flip 3. We've tested and benchmarked the Z Flip 4 to stack it up against the previous Z Flip 3. We'll flash the scores on screen. But overall, synthetic benchmarks were actually not up to our expectations, with some scores being even lower than the old Galaxy Z Flip 3. There may be two reasons for it though. One, the chipset throttled due to high temps, or two, some additional firmware updates were needed that were still coming. We'll be sure to revisit its performance when given the chance to test it in the future. On the other hand though, benchmarks are simply benchmarks. I mean, when are you ever gonna check Geekbench 5 daily? Cause overall, we didn't find any problems in real world use as it felt fast and responsive even when handling multiple apps, and even gaming performance felt really smooth. As for connectivity, the Z Flip 4 supports 5G LTE and obviously has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth capabilities. But as we said, just note that it only has support for one nano SIM and one eSIM. And again, no micro SD card slot, so just be sure to contact your carrier if you want to make use of its eSIM support. The great news is that it now has a larger battery at 3700 mAh. Compared to the 3300 mAh battery found on the Flip 3. It's still not the largest, but hey, we'll take it. It may not be readily seen, but the foldable form factor actually helps reduce battery usage as the only thing that's on is the 1.9-inch cover screen, which doesn't really eat up that much juice. It also supports fast charging up to 25 watts, which can give you 50% in about 30 minutes, which is fair and good enough since other smartphones are moving towards 67 watts or even 120 watts fast charging. But based on PC Mark Work 3.0, the Flip 4 got a score of 10 hours and 37 minutes on a full charge at 50% brightness, 0 volume, and in airplane mode, which is a massive improvement from the Flip 3 as we got only 7 hours and 49 minutes running the same test. Now for our conclusion, it really just depends, since the Galaxy Z Flip 4 is not a massive jump from its predecessor as they both have similar designs, cameras, displays, and RAM. But on the other hand, it's also got the latest chipset, a larger storage option, and a longer lasting battery life. So overall, we'd say that the Galaxy Z Flip 4 has become the fully matured version of Samsung's foldable phone, and at this point, small incremental upgrades are what we come to expect. Considering the Infinity Flex display, and generally all foldable displays still have durability concerns as of today's technology and are eventually gonna see a crease become more prominent each day. That's not to say that the Galaxy Z Flip 4 isn't any good, because it's truly a beautiful and unique foldable phone and one of the best on the market today. The Galaxy Z Flip 4 has come a long way since its inception 4 years ago, and the Z Flip 4 is nothing but elegant, powerful, and truly fun to use. The pricing is also not as drastic as you might think, as the 128GB variant goes for 58,990 pesos, the 256GB variant for 62,990 pesos, and the online exclusive 512GB model for 69,990 pesos. Which if you're comparing even amongst today's flagships, it's practically at par with them or maybe even a better deal, because with the Galaxy Z Flip 4, you're getting a unique, foldable phone that has a ton of quirks and features that other standard smartphones don't even have, and not to mention that it still is a flagship phone with all the bells and whistles. So that wraps up our review of the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4. If you like this video, make sure to smash that like button and leave us a comment on what's your favorite thing about the Galaxy Z Flip 4 and why you'd opt one over any other smartphone. Be sure to hit that notification bell to be alerted of any content we post on YouTube, and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Then visit yugatech.com for more of your favorite tech news and reviews. Again, this is VJ of Yugatech, and I'll catch you on the flip side.